Hello, Uta Hagen here of Trans Widow Uta Hagen YouTube channel with my first roses and peonies bouquet and a Siberian iris and garden iris bouquet. And there's a maidenhair fern in there, a couple of, I think they're called Christmas ferns. And oh, it's just so fragrant. Peonies and roses go together so beautifully. And this peony is the first one that I rescued from a garden that must have been kept by the original owners of my place. And I have coddled it and gotten these great big beautiful fragrant flowers. My WordPress blog is utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com. That is always just about the last line in the description of the video. And if you're trying to contact me for your story to be told through my voice, then you use the contact form, which on my WordPress blog is on, I think, the upper right of the main page. Okay, so today we have the results from 60 trans widows, 59 plus me, on the survey, 20 questions to ask a trans widow. One, was his cross-dressing a revelation or your discovery? Revelation, 30. That means he said it at a certain point. He probably knew he wasn't going to get away with the secret any longer, and he decided to tell. And 22, it was a discovery. That adds up to 52, I know. 8, there were 8 women whose memoirs or interviews were published, and I got the information, but that one piece I didn't get. So that's why there are 8 unknown. Number 2, did he tell you it is under control, not frequent, then it escalated out of control? Yes, for 31 of us. And there are some of the trans widows who really left immediately, and they don't know what he did after. Lucky them. Number 3, did he select a therapist? Did that therapist or he claim that your marriage is now a lesbian relationship? Yes, for 15 of us. That's 25%, 1/4. And of course, for the women who got out like immediately and then didn't have any contact, then who knows what he says about that former relationship. Number 4, did he put money in a secret account for electrolysis, makeup, wardrobe, etc.? Or did he incur credit card debt? Sometimes women find out when there's debt. Sometimes they find out when they go to take money out of the bank from a joint account and there isn't enough money. I mean, there are all these different ramifications of the financial secrets of a man who is spending all kinds of money. And what I learned from Nettie is that, you have to buy Lord & Taylor. You have to buy top of the line because, of course, your special pumps are going to have to make your feet look smaller and your hands look smaller and more delicate. Whatever clothes you have, you're, and by definition, you're not going to be wearing your pregnancy clothes like I did, even though you've lost the weight after you gave birth. So anyway, it's a very, very expensive habit to develop. So yes, for 24 of us, he did these financial shenanigans. Did he wear your clothing or makeup? Yes, for 27 of us. Some weren't secretly doing that. They were just openly, in quotes, borrowing. And number 6, did he suggest or coerce or cajole you into sex role play whereby you're to use this strap-on, which is a artifact which is trying to look like a penis and act like a penis, which of course it can't. Okay, how many of us were suggested or cajoled, kind of coerced or whatever about it? 21. And that doesn't mean that, you agreed and did it, but I didn't bother to collect that because it's too much. Although women who outlined how they had, tried to go along with this and they were gaslit and brainwashed, usually something involving hurting her caused her to say, okay, I'm putting the brakes on this. Number 7, did a therapist suggest all this sex role play kind of stuff and pretend that you're a lesbian and all this? Yes, for 6 of us, but many did not get involved or talk to any therapist about this. Did he defame or vilify you in affidavits submitted to court in the divorce or custody process, or just on social media or to your friends or so on? 28 of us. Some do not know because they left right away and just didn't keep contact with anyone, and sort of like out of sight, out of mind. 9, did he claim to any therapist or a group of friends that you abused him verbally or physically? Yes, 15. That's 1/4 of us, 25%. Number 10, did he attack you physically? Yes, for 18 of us, there were a couple of cases of strangulation. In 3 cases, police were called. In no cases were there any charges. 11, did he force unwanted sex with you? And yes, from 24. That never happened with me. And, it's just less than half, and I think it demonstrates how we're all trying to answer this very honestly. There was a terrible case of rape where the police were called right at the time, within the hour. There was an infant in this case. There were witnesses. There was DNA evidence. And a few weeks later, the police got back to her and said they don't have enough evidence to charge. They don't like to deal with it. 12, did you live below the poverty line or require government assistance, family assistance? Yes, for 24 of us. And it's interesting because some women were just being so honest that they said, no, I never lived below the poverty line because my parents helped me out. But you would have been below the poverty line if your parents didn't have some means. So, allergies. This is kind of funny. I tried to record this outside. I actually recorded the whole thing outside in my garden because I wanted you to see the wild rose and the beautiful tall columbine and everything. And there was a fly buzzing around me. I thought I waved it away, but it stayed. So I'm doing it again for you because that's a distraction. Members of the clergy, did they suggest that you try to accommodate this? With 6 of us, they did. Did anyone in the circle, the therapist, a friend, him, or family suggest that you have to share Mother's Day? Yes, for 5 of us. And typically the therapist would say, even if it was the therapist for her, the trans widow, the therapist would say, well, you're going to have to let go of that. And this is just very disruptive. It's very, very disruptive. It's disruptive and confusing for the children. And the thing is, like way back in the 1990s, my children's feelings basically were violated by their teachers. My sons were in like 2nd grade and kindergarten, and right before Mother's Day in May, they would make some little gift and make a card and stuff to take home, and they had my children making too. And they asked Nettie, well, what about these days? Which one do you celebrate? And he obviously said, Mother's Day. I consider myself, I'm a female parent, so I'm a mother. Female being in quotes. Okay. And this is common. They will absolutely accommodate it. I understand the pressure teachers are under. Thank goodness I never, in my 20 plus years of teaching, I never had a father of the children who did this because, I don't know, I would have had to ask if the child could transfer to a different class or something. I wouldn't have been able to deal with that as a teacher. Okay, in your own therapy, professionals telling you that, he's a woman now, you got to get over it, use the pronouns, blah, blah. Yes, for 9 of us. For our own therapy. Talk about gaslighting. I interviewed someone a few years ago when I thought, oh, maybe I should do some therapy. And she was like, oh, of course, that's how we do it now. And I said, well, but you're not going to meet him, and it's better for me, since he financially and narcissistically abused me. It's better for me to say him and refer to him actually in his given name. And I just told her, well, I haven't hired you, but I'm firing you, and have a nice day. Goodbye. I'm hanging up now. I also wrote a letter. The facility director wrote back and explained how they have to disagree with me, even despite the fact that everything I went through. But of course, if I change my mind, their door is always open. Did you lose a set of friends after he came out or after the relationship ended? Yes, for 27 of us. Did he start self-identifying as mother, in quotes, of the children he fathered or was stepfather of? There was a stepfather who did this. Yes, for 16 of us. So that's over 1/4. And some of the women, didn't have children. So I probably should recalibrate some of these statistics. Did he suggest or insist that the children call him mama something? Yes, for 12 of us. 19, did a therapist or husband or him or any friends or relatives tell you that your rejection of him and your act of ending the relationship caused him, in quotes, to decide, in quotes, to live, in quotes, as a full-time female? Yes, for 6 of us. So that's a little thread. 20, did he co-opt your experience of childbirth using the details of your labor to convince new friends of his female status and role as, in quotes, mother? Yes, for 6 of us, but some of us don't know. Some of the mothers of these 6, in this group of 60 trans widows, do not know what he's saying now because he has opted not to have any contact with the children, and she doesn't keep in touch with other people who would tell her that. So there are the data for 60 trans widows' experiences. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you come across someone who's been through this, let them know that we're here for you. And we will tell your story. Get in touch. Thanks.